We are going to see how Socket.io works when we deal with the real-time notifications. So I got a requirement where I need to show a notification to every single user on the website. So here I have this example. So if I click here, it gives me like, okay, this is a local event. So this page shows me an alert. But what if I want to show this to every single user on the website? Then we will have to hit a real-time event, which is going to fire on each user. So this is what we are going to accomplish in this video. So let's get started and see how you can put in your website. Welcome to Zox. I'm Manu. I'm a senior software full stack developer. If you want to learn front-end and back-end technologies, I do release tutorials, video tutorials, as well as articles on a weekly basis. You can visit my website as well, which is zox.biz. To support me and join me, subscribe this channel. So we need, first of all, Node.js. So in your computer, make sure you have Node.js installed. Just go to node.js.org, and there you can download it and install it. So here is the recommended version and the latest release. I already have Node installed, so you need to do it. You need to install it in your system. Now you have it installed. After that, you can go to create the React app. So I say here, create React app. We will be using React. If you want to use Vue.js or jQuery, you can do that. It's not that different in that case. Here we have a command where we can create a project. I copy this command and go to the here we need to go to terminal. So I open the terminal window. Now I have a directory created on the desktop. So here I have a folder with the name of Socket.io. I already have it on Visual Studio. So you can see it's currently empty. There's no file inside it. It's an empty folder. So what we need to do, we need to create the project here. So instead of currently in the directory where all the files are, so I can straight away run the npm start. Here it's advised you go into directory and then run it. So we can run the npm start straight away. But before doing that, I need to install a few more packages. So here we have Socket.io. If I go to their website, we need to click on integrating, and there is the command. So we can say npm socket.io simply. So I put it here. Also after socket.io you can go, we need this React Toastify, so that for we have the notifications. So what we can do, we can simply copy the name and put next to this. Is the second package. The third one is Express. This we need. So this we need to put another here space and Express. Now once you have all these three, hit enter, and it is going to install all three of these packages free in the main root directory. I want to create a file with the name of server.js, and this is going to be the file which we're going to set up for Socket.io so that we can catch the events. Now the packages are installed. If I go to package.json, you can see that we have Socket.io installed, React Toastify. We also have Express installed. So this is all we need. So I'm going to close it. Now before going any further, let's do this npm start. So we have this project running. Now this is the app running on port 3000. We need to clean a bit here because we don't want this logo to be showing up here. We just want two buttons. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove all the unnecessary files. So we don't need app test here. We can remove that. Logo is not required. We are not going to deal with the web vitals for now. We're going to remove it. Test file again, and also app.css. So we have three files basically: index.js, and here we're gonna remove this. We're just gonna put here very basic stuff, nothing more. So you get the idea that this is the index.js where we are calling the app. App is basically nothing, it's the app.js. So in app.js, we are going to remove the logo because we don't want logo there. app.css, we deleted already, so we don't want that. Now we are left with this. I'm going to delete everything from here. So you can see we have only empty div here. So if we go to our application, it's blank white. Console, we have no error so far. Now go back here, in here, and when I say hello, we go back here, we get our hello here. So we can start working on it. Now let's work with the socket IO so that we have our application working. So here in our app, I go here and this div. So inside it, I'm gonna create two buttons. So let's say on click. All right. So on click, we want to fire a function, and that's going to be run event. Okay. The same way, we need to run a local event. So here I call just like that, and here I will add the local. That's all is the difference. Now here we want to create these functions because we don't have them. So I say constant run event. Okay. And also constant run local event. Okay, so we have the two functions at place where they're supposed to be. Now here in the local, I say here toast, and then I say .info. All right, and then I'm gonna say this is a local event. Okay, and on click we want to fire it, and here we can say position, and what it is going to be toast dot position dot top center. So it's going to be in the middle top. So that's how it's going to be. Now let's see. So this we set up in the local event. So if I hit this, okay. So one thing I missed here, that we need to include the toast container as well. So as well as the CSS. So if I go to Toastify here, we go to their GitHub page, and there you can see how they want us to make it work. So we need to include the CSS file and then the toast container like this. So what I do exactly how they want us to do it. So I put a toast container there, go back, and I copy these two commands, and I go back and we include it on top. Okay, now it should be fine. So here we go, we have no errors so far in our application. There is this is a local event, so this, when we click here, it fires. Now we need to work with the real-time event, which is basically, of course, through socket IO. So for that, what we need to do here, we need to work with the runtime function, a run event function. So how it is going to be. First thing first, what we want is we want to make a connection. So for that, I'm going to use effect. So basically, use effect is when this function, this component loads, this function will fire. So if you are working with Vue.js or jQuery, you will need to prepare the similar connection on page load. So that's something is happening here. What I'm going to do. So what we need to do here, we're gonna say constant, which is we are gonna call socket, and here it's going to be equal to IO. And there we are gonna pass the URL, which is going to be HTTP ::, localhost, and then a port number. Any port number you like, which is not in use already, you can provide here. In my case, let's give it 3005 because I'm not using this port, so we can put it here and we can use it. Now here we need to pass transport and the value is going to be WebSocket. Okay, now once this is done, you have a connection there, so you can console log. So here we can say socket.on, And what we are talking about, it is connection. So when there is a connection, run this function. And what this function will do, it will tell us that we established a connection. So connection are connected to socket IO. Alright, so this is it's going to be. Now the requirement I have is when user logs in, any user, we want to show to every user, like, okay, some user logged in, the name of the user, and show that. To do that, you basically fire whenever the user logs in that function, you can put similar code, but you need to set an event. So for that, what we want to do, we want to set here the same thing, the event. So it's going to be socket and on. And previously we were setting the connection. Here we want to set a name to the event, so it's going to be user login. So new user login, and here we want to pass data similarly as it's a function, and here we can console log again as well, console.log, and here new user logged in. And if you want to show the data, you can show like data.message. Now in my case here, in this example, we are showing how you can implement it. We're not going to show the username because I don't have any database which I can get a user from, but you get the point. If you have an API call here in this file, you can use the socket IO on successful login. You can call this event, and then you can show your alert to all the users based on that. But for this tutorial purpose, we just gonna hit it based on the button. So we are getting the error here. Let's fix this error. Use effect is not imported, so use effect needs to be imported, of course. It's import, and it's use effect. Okay, now also, as we are using the IO, we need to import IO from socket IO dash client. All right, now it should be fine now. Now we need to install socket IO client as well. So I just copy the name, go back here, and here we can search in npm, and there is the first, and we can copy this, go back here, alright, it is installed. Now you can see here basically what is happening in our function. We are saying that, okay, look for this port number. If there is any connection, let us know, and if there is an event, do something. So here we will put the notification for us, but currently we don't have any setup on port 3005. The port 3005 is something we need to set up in server.js. Here, what we need to do, we need to call a few packages, the ones we installed. So we say a constant, first is going to be express, we need it, so I say require, and I want it from express. Alright, then what we want to do, we want the HTTP because we want to have a server, so we require either HTTPS or HTTP. So here in this case I will be using HTTP for this tutorial. Then after that, and it is required, not requires, be careful about that. Then we say constant, then I need a socket IO require, and this one is required from socket IO, not socket IO client, only the socket.io. Okay, now once we have it, we can create an app using express like this. Now this app basically we need to associate with HTTP. So here we call server, which is going to be http dot create server, and we pass the app there. Okay, now you have a server, and here we want a constant for IO, which is going to be socket IO, and we pass here our server. Now we have the access to socket IO, so we can do the connection. So here we say IO dot connection. Actually, the syntax is like this. So we say connection, and then we pass the function like this. Here you need to get an argument socket, and inside it we can put a console.log, and we mention here what is happening. So we say user connected. So this connection establishes, and we get a console log straight away. What after that? After that, we want to check if it disconnects, notify us. So you can put here socket.on. Previously we said connection, here we say disconnect. Again, you can put whatever you like. You want to get an email, you want to get notified using console log, depends on you. So I simply put here console.log, and here user disconnected. So it will notify. You can put here the logic for sending email or something in case your live application gets disconnected. And then at last we say here socket not on the main event, which we need new user login. And this is the exact name, right? New user login. So this is the event. Again, the same way, we pass function. In here we get an argument as data. And here inside, first I want a console log. And we can say new user logged in. Should be string. And at last we say comma data dot message. Okay. Now here we need to emit the event. So we will be passing. We are keep on saying like data dot message. So we will need to pass the data and with the key message. So here, what I say IO dot emit that do this event. The event name is new user login, and pass this data. So we are passing the data here, and this is why you are looking for data dot message. All right. Okay. Now once this event will fire, we will have our content showing. Now in this server configuration, we haven't mentioned like where exactly to look for, what port number this will run on, because our application is depending on port 3005. We need to tell here that okay, server, listen to this port number. So we say here server dot listen, and then here we pass the port number, and then you can pass here console log to see if it is connected. So console.log socket IO is running on port 3005. Okay, so here in our app we are saying okay, this is the port and URL we are going to get the events from. If connection is established, okay, console log. If there is an event, do this with the coming response. On the server.js, we are saying, okay, we have created a server. On connection, just let user know that the user is connected. If disconnects, we put here the user disconnected. Then here we say if this is the event, we want to console log first, then we want to emit this event, and then message will be data.message. Now currently, if I go to our app here, it won't do anything. So it is stopped basically. I need to run the server again. So we say here npm start. Alright, it server is up. In our here, I noticed there is a spelling mistake. We can express. We can put it like this. We can save it. Okay, so far so good. Here we have the transports WebSocket. It's correct. So far nothing is happening. If I go to the page here, refresh, it's not doing anything. So we do get here local 3005 is unable to connect. Remember one thing, when you make a change in server.js, you need to stop the server. So currently, if I see here, this is the app that we are running, port 3000, and also we are running a server, Node.js server, which is currently not running, so we need to start it. So we say here node server.js. So this it tells us the socket now is running on port 3005, which is happening here. So now it is listening to that. Now if I go here, refresh, and I can see we don't have any errors, but nothing is happening. The reason nothing is happening, we want to fire an event, which is this event, and we want to fire it when a user logs in. So for that, I go to app.js. Here on run event, we need to put some functionality. So here, what I want to do, I want to say here constant, which is going to be socket equals to IO. We will pass the same URL. Actually, what I do, I copy this, or we can put it outside somewhere, but for now I'm just going to put it like this. So we have socket, and we then emit. So we say socket dot emit. Okay, and what do we want to emit? If you guessed it right, the same event. So here we will fire this event on a click of a button, and then we are saying that there is a message. And what is the message? User has logged in. You might want to show the username if you have it in your function when you're getting from API or something, so there you can call it. But for now, for this tutorial, I'm just gonna call it straight away, like user has logged in. Okay, so now on click of a button, let's see what happens. Now if I click here, we get new user logged in, user has logged in. So you'll notice here twice it is coming. Why is that? If I go to app.js, what happens is we hit the new event, the run event, it emits new user login. It says user has logged in, which is the first user has logged in here. Then this message is going to, as we are emitting this event, the server.js fires, it gets the new user logged in, and then he gets the message, it prints there, which we see the console log there. Then it emits this with the data, it comes back to app.js. Here it fires this all works in this way. So when you click a button, run event, it runs an event, new user login, you pass some data into it, that data is going to be passed, it goes to server.js. Here in server.js, as we are passing this event, new user login, So you can emit multiple events in case if you in your app you want to do it. Currently we are doing only one, so user login, it goes here. Once it reaches here, it says, okay, if there is this event, do this, console log this, and emit this with this data. All right, now what I want to do, I want to remove this console log from here, and once this emits, it goes back to our app.js where we are looking for this event, and on the event we are saying console log. Here, new user login now, we are already passing it in the message, so I'm going to say here from here. All right, so that we can see it is coming from here. Also, to see the steps, how it all worked. So we run the run event first. So here we say console.log ran first. Okay, so this runs the first, then we go to server, then here it fires this. So we say console.log, you can say here ran second, and then save it, go back here. At last we reach here, so last will be the from here. Now as we made changes in server.js, we need to restart. Clear and run it again. Now it is running, user is connected, go back here, refresh. Now I hit this, we get, now it worked as desired. You get ran first here, then you go to here, you will see the ran second, then you go from here, user logged in. Now in case you want to show the Toastify or alert the user, so we need to do it in app.js, so we simply copy this from here, and here where we are finally completing it, we can say here data.message instead of the ran from local. So I say here data.message. Okay, so now if I go back here and hit it, so user has logged in multiple windows. So copy this, paste, and go here. Now here, local event, we have a single event, it's just working on this window, and then I hit the real-time event, it fires on both windows. So for the recap, so here we are emitting, so let's say you have a form where you're getting the user detail or whatever. Once user logged in, you want to show a notification there. At that point, you will emit an event. Now this event, you're passing some data to it, what data you want to show or want to use. It's totally up to your application requirement. It goes to server.js. It checks, okay, there is that event happened. It goes to emit, it emits that. It goes back to our application, and there it fires on that particular, when socket is on that event, it runs whatever when you want to show a notification, you want to do something else, you can do that. So this is how it works. So you can see that it works in the without refreshing the page. User doesn't have to log out or log in or anything like that. It's straight away real time, and you can implement it in any application. Hope you like this. I leave the code zip as well as the article link in the description, so you can download the code if you need. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.